video. It's probably not gonna be that long, or at least I don't think it's gonna be that long. I wanted to make a video for symptoms that I had before I got my big fat positive, my digital positive pregnancy test. I know that I did this, and I'm sure a lot of other women do too, that during their 2-week wait, they are symptom checking everything. Checking if like a headache or feeling hot or, you know, their right arm hurting. Like all of these random things are possible symptoms that they could be pregnant. So I know that every person is different and their symptoms are different as well. But I did have a few little symptoms here and there that were some signs that I was pregnant. What I will say is if you watched the video where I found out that I was pregnant, you'll see that leading up to it, I actually really felt like I didn't have a lot of significant symptoms. And so I actually didn't think that I was pregnant at all. So I'll give you a couple minor things that I did feel from ovulation to the time that I got my big fat positive. I started seeing a very, 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 very faint line on 10 DPO, and I got a positive on my clear blue digital on 11 DPO. So all of these symptoms are gonna be prior to that. So one thing I will say is that from what I've heard, implantation doesn't occur until around 7 to 8 DPO. So pretty much anything you feel before that time is just most likely your progesterone rising and probably not going to be anything pregnancy related. Everyone's different, but that is what I heard. So pretty much for the first 5 to 6 days, I wasn't really paying attention a whole lot because even if I felt something, I just kept telling myself, well, it's too early to have any pregnancy symptoms anyway. So keep that in mind if you are in your 2-week wait and you are looking at some of your symptoms. Okay, 3 and 4 DPO, I had some very mild cramping. Again, that's too early for implantation, but I really just jotted down everything that I felt that felt abnormal. It could have been from something completely different, but these are the things that I felt. On 4 DPO and 5 DPO, I felt kind of tired, more tired than normal, and I started to get some mild headaches around 5 DPO. So on 6 DPO, I had more mild cramping and I felt like really bloated, and it could have been from something I ate, but it could have not been. The next symptoms were around 8 DPO. Okay, so 8 DPO is when I would say that I had some symptoms. I had some lower abdomen pain. When I would cough or would stretch, it felt like a pulling and like a tightness in my lower abdomen, and that was kind of weird. So that was something that was very different. I do know that at nighttime I was very uncomfortable. I was very hot. I just couldn't get comfortable, and I was like burning up, and it was 68 degrees inside our house. So that's not normal for me. And I just felt like I had like hot flashes. I also had very, very, very vivid dreams at 7 and 8 DPO. I do dream a lot, and I typically remember my dreams, so it's not totally abnormal for me, but they were very vivid. And I actually had a dream that we were pregnant with a son, and I had his name, first and middle name already picked out, which was super random. Those were probably some of the very, very first symptoms, I guess. At At 9 DPO is when I took a digital pregnancy test and it came out negative. So I thought I was out. You can probably look back and see some of those videos. I didn't think I was pregnant. All right, 10 DPO, the day before I actually got that big fat positive. I had more hot flashes at night, just felt hot and uncomfortable again. Super hungry, like out of nowhere. I was starving all the time. I remember we were watching TV and there was a commercial for chicken nuggets and I wanted that. There was a commercial for like burgers or Taco Bell or something and I wanted everything. I was like, oh, that looks good. Ooh, that looks good. And I don't like chicken nuggets. Like I don't typically eat fast food. I don't eat any of that, but I was starving. Everything sounded good and I was just really hungry. I thought it was really weird. I was still getting some mild headaches like every day. Not sure what that's about. Almost every day I had some type of mild headache, almost every day. Again, I had that sharp lower pain in my abdomen and I do recall one of the times when I got out of bed, maybe too quickly or something and it was just like a sharp pain in my lower abdomen. And it was really weird. It just felt like a really tightness. And it's funny because now that I am pregnant, I still get those. And it's just your lower abdomen area just feel tight. And so when you go to move, it just feels like you're just pulling or stretching something. One of the things I did notice that around 10 DPO is I had no bloating or any other period-like symptoms. So typically I would be about 4 days out from my period, and that's usually when I start to get like bloating and cramping ready for my period. Usually like 3 to 4 days before, I just feel like I'm about to get my period. I had none of that. I didn't feel like my period was coming at all. That was, I would say definitely 8 through 10 DPO were like some symptoms that I never really felt before. 11 DPO is when I got a pretty significant line on the test and I went and checked it with a digital and that's when I got that positive and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm pregnant. So those are some of the symptoms. I will say one of the symptoms that came pretty close after my test, because granted, I got my positive pretty early. I got it at 11 DPO, which is still 3 days before my missed period. So that's pretty soon. But I will say one of the symptoms that I had that was immediately after was my boobs hurt so bad. And I've never felt that ever in my entire life. And it felt like when I would take my bra off, it just felt like they were just like so heavy and that they were just so tender. And people say that that's like one of the first symptoms, and I felt it, but it did take a little bit. So I would say that was a little bit closer to, let's see, looks like it was the next 12 DPO is when I started getting like breast tenderness and really tired. So those are definitely some of the first symptoms that I felt. Those are pretty much all of the symptoms that I felt. Now keep in mind, some people have no symptoms before they take a test, and some people have all these crazy symptoms. So it's just everyone's different. This is mine. They were very, very slight, but because I had been keeping track, even though I didn't know if I was pregnant or not, I just kind of wanted to always look back on this, maybe for future reference when, Simba, stop whining. Maybe for future reference when we try to get pregnant again in the future, I can look out for some of these symptoms and kind of the timeline on when they started. If you're in your 2-week wait and you are looking for some of these symptoms, maybe you have some of these. Some of the girls that I've talked to, some of the most common ones are breast tenderness, feeling very, very tired, feeling very hungry. Because for me, morning sickness didn't start till week 5, week 6. So for about a week or so, I was just starving all the time. Starving, tired, and breast tenderness. Those are like the 3 ones. Oh, and that sharp pain in my abdomen. Hopefully that helps you guys. If you're in your 2-week wait, good luck. Baby does to you. It's a hard wait. I know you're gonna be like checking everything and overanalyzing everything, but on the plus side, at least there's a chance and you're in the running and you could be pregnant. Like, this could be your month. You just don't know it yet. So I hope that you've enjoyed this vlog and stay tuned for the next one. Bye.